And history has been made. The Senate voted to confirm Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson as the first black woman to sit on the Supreme Court in its 233-year history. President Biden and Vice President Harris will celebrate Judge Jackson's confirmation today with a ceremony at the White House. Nikole Killion has more.
On this vote, the yeas are 53, the nays are 47, and this nomination is confirmed.
It was a moment of historic celebration. Cheers erupted from the Senate floor to watch parties across the country and the White House, where President Biden embraced Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson as she became the first black woman to be confirmed to the Supreme Court. Snapping a selfie, he tweeted, "We've taken another step toward making our highest court reflect the diversity of America." After presiding over the vote, Vice President Kamala Harris, a first in her own right, said she was deeply moved.
I do believe is a very important statement about who we are as a nation.
The 51-year-old mother of two stood firm on her career accomplishments during the Senate hearings. The Harvard law grad clerked under Justice Breyer and serves on the D.C. Appeals Court. The judge also has 9 years of experience on the federal bench. 3 Republicans joined Democrats to back her nomination.
No, Senator, I didn't say versus.
That's exactly what you said.
Despite some who tried to depict Jackson as soft on crime and a judicial activist.
I believe she will prove to be the furthest left of any justice to have ever served on the Supreme Court.
One of the reasons why I spoke out so firmly is because I know the disrespect that African-American women have faced.
New Jersey's Cory Booker defended Jackson during the hearings and is one of only 3 African Americans in the Senate.
What did this vote mean to you personally?
I mean, it's a Jackie Robinson moment that we're witnessing here, this glass ceiling being shattered in a way that's going to have profound implications for our country.
Nikole Killion is here to discuss this moment in history. Nikole, give us sort of the timeline. When will Judge Jackson be sworn in as a Supreme Court justice?
Well, it will be a while. I mean, today she will appear with President Biden and Vice President Harris at the White House for an event on the South Lawn. But more than likely, she will be sworn in after Justice Breyer steps down. He's expected to serve out the rest of his term. Of course, the Supreme Court term typically ends in the summer, so we would expect sometime after that she would be sworn in.
And then I'm sure she will hit the ground running. So what are some of the cases that she will hear during her first term on the court?
Well, you know, look, I mean, this will be coming on the heels of perhaps a very significant decision with respect to abortion rights that is expected to occur at some point this summer. So we don't know if, for instance, there will be any challenges depending on what the high court rules. But one thing that the judge pointed out during her confirmation hearings, for instance, is there is a case that could come before the court about Harvard, her alma mater, where that school is involved in a case involving race-based admissions. And so she said, for instance, during her confirmation hearings, that might be a case that she would recuse herself from. But certainly there are a number of cases that could come before the court. But the judge made clear that, you know, she does take a very methodical approaches to the cases that she hears, and that would be no different when she gets here to the Supreme Court.
Now, when it comes to her confirmation, there's sort of like good news and bad news, right? Because the good news is 3 Republicans voted for her, so her confirmation was bipartisan. The bad news is the entire process was very partisan. Did you get a chance to speak to any of the Republicans who voted for her? What did they say about their decision to vote in favor of her? And what does the process say about just how divided the parties are?
Yeah, well, what was interesting is that even in that moment of celebration where you saw senators clapping and cheering on the Senate floor, many Republicans during that moment walked out, with the exception of Mitt Romney. I think Alaska's Lisa Murkowski also stayed to applaud the moment. So, you know, if a picture is worth 1,000 words, that kind of says it all. But look, I mean, these confirmation processes have been very divisive and politicized. I mean, it wasn't just Judge Jackson's hearings per se. I mean, you had, for instance, Lisa Murkowski in her statement when she explained her decision to back Judge Jackson, calling this a very corrosive, politicized process, one that is detached from reality, but even from folks like, Senator Lindsey Graham, who was quite critical of Judge Jackson during the hearing. He also feels that the process is broken, dating back to, for instance, the hearings with Justice Kavanaugh. There's certainly a lot of bad blood from those hearings, especially among Republicans who didn't like the way that he was treated. And then, of course, you fast forward to Justice Amy Coney Barrett, with Democrats not being happy about how fast that nomination moved. And then you move to Judge Jackson's hearings, where Democrats were really upset about some of the line of questioning from senators, to the point where they felt it was badgering and beyond the pale. So, across the board, there is some acknowledgement that the process is broken, but how it is fixed going forward remains to be seen.
Nikole Killion, thank you very much, Nikole.
You bet.